everybody's favorite white comic, Gary Owen, shows his true colors. Yes. Oh, look what I have here. His true colors. I have this on unlisted. Hold on. For those of you watching later, I'm live, but it has it as unlisted, so people don't see that I'm on. Let me change that. Boom, there we go. I was wondering why wasn't nobody. Usually I got people up in here before the show start. I'm like, why ain't nobody in here before the show start? That's because I wasn't showing as live. Now I'm showing as live. Let me go ahead and post this right now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get started. We're about to talk about Gary Owen and what he said. But before we do that, what I'm going to do is, this is what I'm going to do. I got to change the damn thumbnail too. I'm all disorganized. Here we are here on YouTube. YouTube, y'all here? Y'all see me on YouTube? All right, cool. We're going to get started in 1 minute. All right, we back. That was somewhat of a false start because we weren't even live. We weren't even listening on YouTube. Jesus. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. But let's get into it. So what we're going to do today is, I want to first shout out to Tim Black TV. I saw this come up on his channel today. I had a different topic that I was like, let me push this topic off until tomorrow, because I saw Tim Black covering this, and I said, Gary Owen, this dude don't talk about nothing political. Why is he talking about Charlie Kirk? So after I watched Tim Black, I went through and went to Gary Owen's podcast. And I didn't tell you the truth, I didn't even know he had a podcast. It looks like it's pretty good. It has 900,000 subscribers, so it looks like, it's pretty successful. I didn't know he had one. And so I said, let me watch this whole video. Sad news, I didn't get through the whole video. After a while, I was just done. But I did get through about 25 minutes of the video. And that was more than enough time to hear his protracted thoughts. on the Charlie Kirk situation. For those of you who don't know who Gary Owen is, Gary Owen is somebody who urban politicians TV will call a nigga neater. Still the urban politicians TV. I think when he calls Adam 22 and Vlad TV nigga neaters. That's Gary Owen. He's a nigga neater. He's a comedian that thrives and survives from a black audience. Back in the 90s, Comic View gave him Comedian of the Year, and they later admitted to rigging it for him as a show of solidarity with the white community, hoping that white shows will do the same with black comics. Of course, that never happened. But like people understand, especially in the comedy world, if you get a white comedian that can have 2 or 3 black references, know a couple Luther Vandross songs or some Frankie Beverly and Mays, and give 2 or 3 cultural references, black audiences eat out of their hands. I was literally just talking to a comic about this the other day, about some other comic that was like that used to be around the city of LA. I don't want to mention his name, but another one of those white comics. If you're a white person, a white comedian, and you show yourself ingratiating yourself to black audiences, 9 out of 10 of these niggas will eat out of your hand. Seen it happen far too often. They'll see a black comic and be like, I hope this nigga funny. But they'll see a white comic, and that white comic come out and say, to the window, to the walls, till the sweat drops down my balls. And then white black niggas be like, ooh, he's so funny, he's so funny, he's so funny. I've seen that from LA to Atlanta. I've seen it from Philadelphia to Seattle. I've been all across this country in comedy clubs. It ain't a regional thing. It's a black inferiority complex thing that goes nationwide. So he's someone who's taking advantage of that. And he is funny. He's funny. Not my kind of funny, but he makes people laugh. So I'm not going to take that away from him, you know? So Gary Owen, who, you know, he hides behind having a black wife, like a lot of white supremacists do. I'm not saying he's a white supremacist. I don't know. I don't know him well enough to say he is or not. But Gary Owen is the poster boy of the white man that's been invited to the cookout. But like we talked about on this show, when they get past a certain age, not all, but you can almost bet, it's a fairly safe bet that when they start to cross 40, 30, 40, into their 50s, they turn back white. Bill Maher, you know. Bill O'Reilly wasn't always a conservative, you know. He didn't start out that way. Bill O'Reilly didn't start off as the conservative person he's known as now. No. He was cool at one point. Bill Maher. And so Gary Owen has survived in that sort of world. He owes his career to the black community, past and present. So what we about to do is we about to go through and talk about what I'm talking about. Gary Owen is somebody who, when it came down to it, he never speaks politics, but he finds himself finally talking politics when he looks in the mirror, he sees himself gets dealt with behind political ideologies, allegedly. So let's go on over to, again, salute to Tim Black for doing a show on this particular topic yesterday, or I don't know if it got posted today. I don't know when he did it, but I saw it this morning. So it made me go back and watch this. And so for those you don't know, Gary Owen decided to speak out for Charlie Kirk. And so we're going to go through his thoughts right here, all right? So right here, this is where he's going to talk about why he doesn't do politics. He's going to talk about why he doesn't do politics. And then he's going to go into more stuff. But let's break this down line by line, all right?
For me, there's a reason I don't do politics. I don't talk a lot of politics anymore. I stay clear of it because it's so divisive. It's so unhealthy. From my perspective, my day-to-day life is the people I interact with. My friends, my manager, my neighbors, people I run into at the airport. I don't try to engage in any kind of political talk. I took a lot of heat.
So right there, he says he establishes that he does not like political talk. So one has to ask themselves, what makes Charlie Kirk the first time you engage in political talk? Let's keep going.
Not a lot. Social media heat isn't really heat. I took some heat when last month I was in DC and somebody asked me about Trump because Trump had the National Guard out in the streets of DC. He was trying to clean up the streets, get all the young people off the streets or something like that. I don't live in DC. I didn't research enough on it. But a guy asked me.
Notice how when it comes to our issues, they never research enough on it, right? It's like, I don't know. It's this, pay attention to how he's talking. It's this plausible deniability. Do I not teach that all the time on this channel? The system of white supremacy works through plausible deniability. It's white supremacy and its cohorts, its enablers. I don't know if Gary Owen is a white supremacist or not. I'm not gonna put that label on him unless he overtly comes out. But the way he's talking like an assistant as he's adjacent to it. Because whenever it comes up, because mind you said he was in DC, right? DC, Chocolate City. Think about this. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But who's most likely to approach him in DC about Trump bringing in the National Guard? I'm going to go so far as to say that it was a black person that asked him that. And the reason why I'm sure of it is because the majority of his audience is black. DC, even though it's being gentrified, is still a black town. The National Guard was an issue that's affecting black people. So I'm going to put those pieces of evidence together and assume that it was a black person that asked him that question. But when it came to something that affected black people, he didn't take time to do the research. These people who are so-called our friends, when it comes to our issues, notice that. They never take time to do the research when it's our issue.
Me, what I think of Trump and what he's doing. And I was like, I don't live in DC. And I made a joke like, ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't live in DC. And people were like, man, if you don't stand for something, then you're part of the problem. Well, Charlie Kirk stood for something and it got him killed.
Whoa! Did y'all see that? Chat room, those of you who are asking me, what did he do? We just getting started. I got like 10 more clips to play. Did y'all just see what happened? He just equated, why don't he have anything to say about an issue that's directly affecting his fan base? And Charlie Kirk is the reason why. Someone who was killed by a white nationalist, allegedly. Let's play that part again. I want to play that part again. Because I don't want y'all to think I'm tripping. I don't want y'all thinking I'm tripping.
I don't live in DC, and I made a joke like, ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't live in DC. And people were like, man, if you don't stand for something, then you're part of the problem. Well, Charlie Kirk stood for something, and it got him killed.
Gary Owen, what exactly did Charlie Kirk stand for? That went left. That went left. A snake on Twitter, you said that's all you need to know about him? Nah, my brother, stay around. It gets worse. Stay around, stay around, stay around. There's more you need to know. There is more you need to know. Stay around, stay around. All right? Black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. So let's go a little bit further.
So I'm like, politics it's supposed to be something we bring this country together. I don't think there's a more divisive thing. I think
politics have always been divisive, sir. No, it's not supposed to bring people together. It's always been divisive. But what you were being asked for was to speak up on behalf of the people that pay to see your shows. Maybe they were concerned about the National Guard being in DC because they plan on being out between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. to go to see your show. Maybe they were going to your show and they're concerned that on the way home from the show, they may be subject to the National Guard and authoritarian style policing. That's far different than saying people have low IQs. So let's go to the next point. Let's go to the next point. This is where he talks about Charlie Kirk being someone who stood in his beliefs. Let's go.
So, I didn't agree with probably 80% of the stuff I've heard come out of Charlie Kirk's mouth.
Okay.
But I will say he's a guy that stood in his beliefs, whether I agree with him or not. I think in his own way, he wanted this country to be a better place. I don't agree with.
In his own way, he wanted the country to be a better place. Okay.
Some of the racial stuff he said.
Let me rewind that.
I think in his own way, he wanted this country to be a better place. I don't agree with some of the racial stuff he said.
I don't agree with some of the racial stuff that he said. So now, when I hear that, that leaves a question. So what racial stuff do you agree with? You don't agree with some of the mind you, he has black children. He had children with a black woman. So I don't know if he has sons or daughters. I don't pay close enough attention to his career to know which one, but this is the same Charlie Kirk that said if he sees a black person flying an airplane, he wonders if they're qualified. He's talking about your children, sir. As a father, at what point do you send up for your kids? Where is the denouncement? My question is this. When are you going? Did you ever denounce any of this stuff? Because if you disagree with some of the racial stuff that he said, what is some? Do you disagree with 90% of the racial stuff he said, or 10%? Some is usually an amount less than half. Usually when they say some. Usually when somebody says some, if I have 10 sticks and I say I'm going to give you some, that's usually going to be 2 or 3 sticks. Some is not going to be giving you 7 out of my 10 sticks. Some is usually going to be 3 of my 10 sticks, 4 maybe at max. But less than half when I say I'm going to give you some. If I say I'm going to give you a lot, then I mean probably more than half, right? Right? So if you say you don't agree with some of what he says, just using your words, that means you probably agree with most of what he says about race. This is somebody who makes his money off of a black audience. See, if Jerry Seinfeld says this, I don't give a fuck, because Jerry Seinfeld ain't coming to black people to make money. If any of them white boys say this, I don't care. They don't come to us to make their money. That their lives are going to be what it is, whether we like them or not. We really make no difference in their lives. But we make a difference in Gary Owen's life.
It's interesting because he spoke to over like 150 college campuses. He's been on hundreds of podcasts. And I've seen the same 3 videos since he died. It's the same 3. It's the one.
So he's complaining. So he says he's done a lot of speaking. Now he's about to go through and talk about. He says the same 3 videos. Okay, same 3 videos. Let's listen. Number 1,
where he said, "Unfortunately, I want to keep my Second Amendment rights, and it stinks, but there's going to be people that die because of guns." But he's like, "But it sucks, but that's the cost of having your Second Amendment rights."
He just totally sanitized what Charlie Kirk was saying about the Second Amendment. You totally sanitized that. He said some people are going to have to die to keep our Second Amendment right. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Listen to how he totally sanitized this.
So we need to be very clear that you're not going to get gun deaths to 0. It will not happen. You can significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home, by having more armed guards in front of schools.
More fathers in the home. There's a father in this home, homie.
We should have an honest and clear reduction.
Mind you, whenever they say that's a white supremacist talking point, whenever they mention fathers in the home, that's always a reference to black people, okay? Because they don't take care of their kids either. But when it comes down to fatherless homes, it's always a slick jab at us. That's part of their code language. Got to understand white supremacist code talk.
View of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
So this is the video that I'm about to say Michael Rappaport. Gary Owen, Michael Rappaport, same thing. But go back now. Let's go back and listen to what he said. Let's go back and listen to Gary Rappaport and see if that sounds like what you just heard.
It's the same three. It's the one where he said, unfortunately, I want to keep my Second Amendment rights, and it stinks, but there's going to be people that die because of guns. But he's like, but it sucks, but that's the cost of having your Second Amendment rights.
No, he didn't say it sucks. He decided to throw in a cold speak about black folks, about fathers not at home. He, again, cold word for let's go back and look at those Negroes. Mind you, you have black children, right? That's number one.
But he also said in that people conveniently left out was, even if we get rid of guns, people are still going to die of guns. If we make guns illegal, they're going to find a way to get them. So let's keep them legal so people that want to protect their families and their homes can keep the guns. But they left that part out, you know? So I was like, but yeah, and then I saw
Get to number two.
Another video where he was talking about, I don't know if I trust a black pilot because of, hiring practices, how we got to hire minorities and stuff. He said, if I got on a plane, I don't know if I really feel like that was the best pilot for that flight. And again, I'm only seeing snippets. I don't know what the full discussion was that led to that.
Right back to it. Back to playing ignorant. See, on the previous one we talked about guns, he said there was more to that video that they cut out. Oh, when they were talking about guns, you didn't see it all. And I saw it all. And here's the full context. He was able to bring context of the gun argument. When it came to us, well, that's all people saw. I used to want to be an airplane pilot. I had a Junior Eagles flight certificate, and I got it in the 8th grade. Because I used to go to Santa Monica Airport and Hawthorne Airport as a child to fly along with people. There was this program that was at my church in '94 to where we could fly. And I wanted to be a pilot at that time in my life. And I learned a lot about flying airplanes. And one thing I learned back then was, in order for you to get enough experience to fly a commercial jet, you basically have to go to the military. It's going to take that much flight time to become a commercial pilot. You can get it without going to the military. And there are newer programs now, like through Spirit Airlines, and they're more outreach. Universities are now starting to pick up flight But back then, you basically had to go to the military. You can't become a pilot through DEI. The only way you can become a pilot is if you qualify. And Mr. Defending Charlie Kirk did not stop and say, hold on. See, he said this about black pilots. But no. I've been on flights my whole life with black pilots. Where was your joke then? I've been on flights with black pilots my whole time. And guess what? They're the best. Now there was a white guy. When they had a plane, he turned it in. You know how Gary Owen do his jokes. Them stupid ass facial expressions. You could have easily said, no, that's wrong. But he didn't. So maybe that's part of the sum of the racial part things that he said that Gary Owen don't have a problem with. Because remember, he did say, I've had issues with some of the racial things. Well, considering the fact that he's telling us that we don't know the full context, maybe, in my opinion, what it looks like, it looks as if he agrees. I'm not saying he does or doesn't, but that's my takeaway based on what he said. My takeaway is it seems like he agrees.
Like, I don't know what question was asked to make him say that and everything. So
see how he's a 31-year-old man that they're trying to make. I don't know what question was asked to make him say that. Maybe that's the part that black people don't like, that you're unwilling to defend because you agree.
Thing is, he was not a threat to society. He wasn't out here breaking the law. He was going into the quote unquote lion's den numerous times. He went on Bill Maher.
He goes in and says that, okay, he wasn't a threat to society. Whose society are you talking about? Whose society are you talking about he wasn't a threat to? Turning Point USA raises $80 million a year to affect policy. Turning Point USA was a major fundraising campaign behind taking out critical race theory. Critical race theory is more than just black history. The whole critical race theory, do you know what else encompassed that? It encompassed getting teachers in Florida fired for talking about systematic white supremacy. Critical race theory was taking out of the school system the talk of systematic white supremacy. 40 years ago, they said, okay, we can't call you racist. Now he's taking away calling the system racist. That's what Charlie Kirk was pen to paper putting his shit behind. Let's look at this. Let me see here. Let's look. I asked ChatGPT, just Turning Point USA's point of view on critical race theory. Set the stage. CRT started in legal scholarship, especially among scholars of color, as a framework to analyze how race and racism are embedded in laws, institutions, and social structures beyond just individual bias. It examines power and how laws perpetuate racial hierarchies and how neutral or colorblind policies might still produce equal outcomes. Over time in public schools, CRT has become a kind of catch-all phrase. Sometimes it refers accurately to academic legal framework. And so this is what they're talking about what it is. On Turning Point USA, when Charlie Kirk was going around to these college campuses, he was saying things like CRT is anti-white and anti-American. That kind of rhetoric is not victimless. Now, it doesn't affect you, Gary Owen, but it affects your children. It destroys public education and harms children. He's saying that speaking about race harms children. Whose children does it harm? And they use this at Turning Point USA. We can just go right to their website. This is what he backed with his rhetoric. This is what he was going to college campuses talking about. So when you say he was going to the Lion's Den and he was speaking, the reason why we have an issue with what he was speaking, because what he was speaking was lies. This is a lie. This isn't a mere disagreement. From Dr. Joy DeGroot to Dr. Welsing to Neely Fuller, there's too much academic. There's academic hell. White people like Dr. Jacqueline Battalora. She's a white woman. Birth of a White Nation. She talks about this in her book. This isn't just black people talking. This is white professors too. So you mean tell me Charlie Kirk, a college drop? I'm sorry, a community college dropout knows more than a PhD? His point of view is he's not saying that this doesn't exist. He's saying it shouldn't be taught because it hurts white students' feelings. That's why he's saying. He didn't come with any academic research to counteract and to support his narrative. His narrative and Turning Point USA's narrative was what this does is it basically hurts our children's feelings. And that's why it shouldn't be taught. And you're saying he should go around to college campuses talking like that?
Go on people that had different political beliefs than him for here's the key word, a discussion. That's all it was talk. And if you didn't like it, you could turn it off.
No, it wasn't just talk. Again, it turned into policy. It's literally targeting schools and universities. He's not just having a talk. The talk is leading towards legislation. It turns into legislation. That's what I have to say about all of these It's Just Talk people. Let's talk about it. What has it led to? Examples of policies and laws that ban CRT. Texas in 2021 passed a law limiting how public schools teach about race and racism. It's often called the Texas CRT law. Boom! That's Turning Point USA, motherfucker. Florida, the Stop Woke Act. Because he's also talking about DEI. In Alabama, a law banning DEI program. Because what I did was, I asked ChatGPT to find any laws that has been turned into policy or removed from public schools. You got to know how to use this AI shit, but the only way you're going to use AI is if you know which questions to ask. You cannot rely on AI. But if you know what questions to ask, it'll give you sources. I always tell AI to give me sources, nigga. I don't, because this should be lying a lot of times too. AI definitely lies. So when I use AI, that shit got to point me to a book or to a source. I'm not going to just trust this shit. But all of this is pointing towards a source. Alabama has a ban on CRT in classroom as part of a larger education overhaul signed in 2023. And that's coming from the Associated Press. So do you see this is what Turning Point USA does. It creates these discussions to change laws. Do y'all see where I'm coming from? So when y'all listen to people, black apologists like Kwame Brown, and it's still the Kwame Brown, I like Kwame Brown's channel. It just I disagree with him on certain political things. Because he just, some things aren't opinion, some things are just flat out wrong. If you say that what Charlie Kirk did was just an opinion, no, that's wrong. All right? That's just wrong. His opinion was a major conduit to policy. Who do you think is putting him on all these college campuses? You don't get to just talk to college campuses because you have a good idea. Okay? People don't give you, donate to your company 35, 45, 55, $80 million a year to your foundation without attaching it to some sort of policy that they want pushed. Remember this. Propaganda always predicates law. Propaganda first, law second. You got to propagandize the people first. Through TV, through indoctrination centers like universities, schools. Where's that book? Do I have that book here? I don't have that book here. I was just looking at this book. I'm going to show y'all this book. I'm going to show y'all this book real quick. I know exactly where it is. Hold on one second. There we go. This book right here, The Creation of the Media by Paul Starr. This talks about how America uses propaganda before the military arm, before how the media was literally created to propagandize people for the interests of America. And going on, like Gary Owen said, well, he's going on Bill Maher. Yeah, Bill Maher's a white supremacist too. They both agree on black people. They disagree on other topics, but they both think we inferior. That's not the lion's den. That's his brother. But how does he get that access? You need access in order to put, if you want to get CRT taken out, if you want to get all that stuff taken out, because it's not hurting nobody. No one's really complaining about it. You got to create the problem. And this book by Paul Starr, The Creation of the Media, it talks about how media is always being used as a political front. The political origins of modern communication. look in here. I'm not telling you just to hate Gary Owen. Hopefully Gary Owen watches this video and he gets some education. But usually when they say educate yourself, they usually mean go listen to a white person. So they probably won't listen to me because they'll say I'm being divisive. People like him only believe education comes from white people. Well, go read this white man talk about it, all right? So let's keep going.
He's popped up on different algorithms. I've been on Facebook or I've been on TikTok and I'll see him pop up. And sometimes I would be like, oh, that's interesting. Or I'm telling you, most of the time, I'm like, oh, he went there. He went there. I can't believe he went there. And
I can't believe he went there. Not, I disagree.
He was sorry about that. He was getting college students fired up, and they were coming out and having good discussions. And you know, if you can get people to put their phones down and to really focus on something, I mean, he was an effective speaker, and so I just, you know, I'm not gonna. I've heard the same people say,
yes, he was. I will give him credit. He was most definitely an effective speaker, but effective towards what? And my chat room keeps alerting me to it, so I'm gonna go ahead. I've been to the will of my chat room because y'all support me. My chat room in the chat, I've been watching y'all, but I've been focused. My chat room's been telling me to talk about his relationship with his first set of children. So here you go. He basically said, when it comes to his kids that he had with his first woman that he divorced with in 2021, that's the recent divorce. He has no relationship with the children. So no relationship with your older set of kids, the black ones. Why is that?
You think Tyler Perry regrets putting on that dress? I don't.
Hell no.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
A billion?
He put the on.
Yeah.
The belly. Yeah. I think at one point he had a camel toe.
Yeah.
All my life.
I thought that was a clip. That's the whole video. So here, of course, this is from BET.com on Club Shay Shay, that he does not have a relationship with his older black kids. So he's contributing to the single family epidemic that Charlie Kirk spoke on. So let me get this right. Charlie Kirk talked all this stuff about single parent households and how you agree. But you then turn around and contribute to fatherless black homes? Whose team are you really on, boy? Nikki P says none of them white boys will ever side with Freeman FBA over their kind, right? They use their proximity to our culture to come up and look cool to its people. But at the end of the day, they are for their own. You're 100% right. Hey, chat room, am I doing too much? Am I doing too much? Am I wrong? Help me out here. And you can go to DWANNB.com right now. I've been too busy. I gotta change the site around. And make sure you get your t-shirt, get your hoodie. It's about to get cold, so you want to order your hoodie now before it get too goddamn cold. Black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. This is why we don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping, y'all. We don't owe nobody shit. When they come around talking about what do black people think, this is what we think. We don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. You can get that right now on DWANNB.com. So let's keep going because there's more ground I want to cover. This ain't it, y'all. We got more to go. We got more to go. This is not it. Let's keep going. Where my timestamps at? Let me see here. 11-minute mark. I don't want to play the whole video.
That's the other video I've seen where he said empathy is an overused word. I don't know what that really means. He goes, but there's sympathy, but there's empathy. I don't think he had sympathy for what black people might have been through. So
hold on. He said the third thing was the empathy thing. He just tried to clean up what Charlie Kirk said about empathy. He said, no, I think it's sympathy. This is what he said about empathy.
And so there's some really good polling out of Alaska that shows that Kelly Shabaka is gaining on Lisa Murkowski and is in a very, very good position despite the unconstitutional, immoral, incredibly complicated rank choice voting system. Never should have been approved. It's silly. It's backwards. It's rigged. It's awful. So the new communication strategy for Democrats, now that their polling advantage is collapsing in every single state, it's collapsing in Ohio. It's collapsing even in Arizona. It is now a race where Blake Masters is in striking distance. Kerry Lake is doing very, very well. The new communication strategy is not to do what Bill Clinton used to do, where he would say, I feel your pain. Instead, it is to say you're actually not in pain. So let's just very short clip. Bill Clinton in the 1990s, it was all about empathy and sympathy. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage, but it is very effective when it comes to politics. Sympathy I prefer more than empathy. That's a separate topic for a different time. Here's cut 65.
He thought empathy was a made-up term. That's what he said. Those are his words. And here's Gary Owen trying to clean that up.
But there's empathy. I don't think he had sympathy for what black people might have been through.
No, he doesn't have empathy. We don't need sympathy, you simp. Hell, we don't need his empathy either. But he volunteered and said that he don't have empathy. Empathy is a made-up term. If it's a made-up term for Bill Clinton, it's a made-up term for any other topic. A made-up term is a made-up term no matter where you apply it. If I say that something is made up, it doesn't matter where you try to plug that something. If it's made up, it's made up, no matter the scenario. Ain't that right, Rocky?
So, yeah. And for people to gloat over it is really what's disturbing. To start posting about him and this is the Charlie Kirk that died. He had this coming. I'm going, dude. You sit there on your computer and you sit there and type in the safety of your own home. He was actually, like I said, going into the lion's den. He was going to college campuses. He was going on these shows.
He was not going to the lion's den. College campuses is not the lion's den. College students don't have the experience to even ask him a tough question. And he wasn't going to HBCUs. He was going to conservative schools where they already, what is like the school he was at there now, where the people, for the most part, shared his point of view. He was going into friendly environments. He was going to fans. And he was going to people who did not have the language to articulate the issue. Going into the lion's den will be going against scholars. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Since when is going at a student, that'll be like saying, okay, This guy is a master. You got somebody like y'all was like him saying, okay, he the last dragon. He Bruce Leroy. He the biggest, baddest one. He Sho'nuff. Imagine this is like when Sho'nuff went after Leroy's students. You don't respect Sho'nuff for going after Bruce Leroy students? Nah, nigga, fight Bruce Leroy. Students can't beat the master, but Bruce Leroy can. You don't. Since when? That like Loki shows some subconscious cowardice. On one hand, you're bragging about how articulate, how smart, how great of a fighter he is, but he's fighting against students. That'd be like Sho'nuff coming in, Leroy, yeah, I don't want to fight you, but bring in your students, yeah, and I got the glow, Leroy. And he started fighting the little Asian kid. You saw what happened when the Asian kid, I forgot his name. You saw what happened when Leroy went down when Sho'nuff went into Leroy's gym, and it was just that one kid there. You saw what happened when Sho'nuff walked in. Hell, the women was getting at the kids. How about a little kiss on my fist? Man, the Sho'nuff wasn't going around talking about something. It's students like y'all that think you the last dragon. No. Sho'nuff had to fight Leroy. All that fighting the kid shit, it didn't matter until Sho'nuff fought Leroy. You are the last dragon. You possess the power of the glow. Doom, doom, doom. You are the last dragon. Leroy wasn't getting no points on fighting old boy, them niggas in the Ninja Turtle outfits. I forgot their names. He didn't get no points for fighting them. He had to fight Sho'nuff. And this dude is defending it. That's so cowardice. Oh, he's a master because he fought against students.
Knowing they were coming for him. Knowing they was like, oh, I got my argument for Charlie Kirk. And listen,
he is going hard.
I've seen him the last day. I probably see more Charlie Kirk in the last day than I've ever seen in all his life. What?
Oh. Just a few minutes ago, Gary Owen said that he's been seeing only 3 videos circulated. The 3 videos had to do with Second Amendment rights, black pilots, and empathy. Now, he's saying he's seen a whole bunch of videos over the last few days. Which one is it, Gary? Which one is it, dog? Let's go back.
This country would be a better place.
Let's go back.
I've heard come out of Charlie Kirk's mouth. But
I gotta go back a little further. I want y'all to see this. This is what he said earlier at the 4-minute mark, 4-minute, 15-second mark.
Somebody that's trained to shoot a weapon.
Here we go.
So, I didn't agree with probably 80% of the stuff I've heard come out of Charlie Kirk's mouth. But I will say he's a guy that stood in his beliefs, whether I agree with him or not. I think in his own way, he wanted this country would be a better place. I don't agree with some of the racial stuff he said. You know, it's interesting because
here it is.
He spoke to over like 150 college campuses.
This part right here.
He's been on hundreds of podcasts. And I've seen the same 3 videos since he died. It's the same 3.
Heard him say that, right? Let me hear it again. The same 3 videos since he died.
Says he's been on hundreds of podcasts. And I've seen the same 3 videos since he died. It's the same 3. It's
the same 3. And we have to go through it again. The Second Amendment, right? The Black pilots. And then the empathy one. All right?
At a time when that's why you go to college. If you know, we're coming for him. Knowing.
Same 3.
They was
that's
like,
what he said about.
Oh, I got my argument for Charlie Kirk. And listen, what I've seen over the last day, I've probably seen more Charlie Kirk in the last day than I've ever seen in all his life. What?
At the 12-minute mark of this video, he says, I've seen more Charlie Kirk than I've seen his entire life. But back at the 4-minute and 30-second point, he said he's only seen the same 3 videos circulate. Chat room, did y'all catch that? Chat room, did y'all catch that double speak? That's double speak. Which one is it? Have you seen the same 3 videos or more videos than you ever seen in your entire life? Which one is it, Brother Owen? Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Is something wrong with me? Like Tyree said, what is wrong with me? Is something wrong with me? Did I miss something?
He would give it to some people.
Look how he would give it to some people.
And then some people would give it to him, and he took it. If you know, he wasn't yelling or calling people names when they were.
Sounds like he admires him. So let's go to this last part I want to point out. I want to point out this last part because I couldn't get through the whole video. This is one of the last parts that I got through. I watched all the way through this part, but you know I got through about half the video. Y'all can go back and watch the whole video. But after this part, I was done.
I know you've seen this. She's on the train in Charlotte.
He's talking about. He just finished talking about Charlie Kirk. Now look what he does. He brings up the white woman that was stabbed by the black dude on a train in Charlotte. He didn't bring up the shooting at the military base. He didn't bring up the shooting at a school in Colorado the same day as Charlie Kirk. He didn't bring up those 2 firefighters who were ambushed, called to a scene, and then sniped. It's been a lot of fuck ups in his community now. His community's had a lot of shit going on just in the last month. He didn't speak on anything else that was completely in his community. He had to speak on the thing to where the black person affected his community.
And some crazy dude comes behind her, stabs her in the neck, and she bleeds out and dies. And she escaped the Ukraine to come to this country because she was scared to die in the Ukraine. DeCarlos Brown, you know, God, he was on a cashless bail 7 months before the knife attack on August 22nd.
Cashless bail, that's what Trump has been pushing. How did this nigga get out of jail is what he's thinking. Doesn't this motherfucker clean shaven? Don't he look like a former cop? This first 48 looking motherfucker brought up another buzzword, cashless bail.
Just like, Yeah, they should put this guy, DeCarlos Brown, in a cell with the guy that killed Charlie Kirk and just leave him alone.
You mentioned the name of that black dude, DeCarlos Brown, but you didn't mention the name of the person that shot Charlie Kirk? Like I told you before, at some point they turn white. They usually turn white after their shirt is full of barbecue stains from you niggas inviting them to the barbecue. You invite them to the barbecue, they get some of them ribs, drink some. They didn't bring anything to the barbecue. They eat, they drink, they well taken care of. They go and holler at one of the women. Because, you know, as black women, we don't care. I'm black men, we don't care. We don't do like, y'all, don't go there to that white man. We don't do that shit. If you want to go holler at that white dude, he'll laugh at you. That's the most we gonna do. We're like, oh, she got a snow bunny. Okay. We don't police like that. So you come over, you get a chance to holler at a black woman, you eat, you full. Once the party's over with, you go back to being white in your white neighborhood while the rest of us go back to the ghetto. Having to come out of our pocket and pay for what you consume for free. Look here, man, look. Don't come up in this chat complaining about ads. Pay for YouTube like I do. I hate ads. So I willingly give these motherfuckers $18 a month so I ain't got to deal with them. I ain't going to miss it. If you don't mind ads, cool. But don't come in the chat room talking about ads. There's one way to resolve the ads problem. Pay for YouTube Premium. I hate ads. That's why you guys were able to watch that whole video with no commercial interruptions, because I paid for it. Don't come in here talking about some too many ads. Nigga. Oh, deal with it. Okay? Or at least if you got an issue with too many ads, drop 100 in the super chat. Be like, hey, King, here's $100. Here's $300 for this video. Can you turn the ads off, please? All right, I turn the ads off then. Drop 300-400 up in that super chat every video. I turn the ads off. If you ain't doing that, fucking pay for YouTube. It ain't that expensive. If you hate ads as much as I do. I hate ads. I hate ads. So I'd be like, how much for the ad free? Boom, there you go. Yep. Life says Gary Owen showing the true colors. You first saw his racism when he joked on Monique in her Netflix issue. Yeah, I remember that. He jumped in Monique's issue. Monique has an issue. I got a rule, man. I stay out of women's business. Unless I got something supportive to say, ain't nothing to say. And I stay out of anybody's business that's negotiating their money. If somebody's out there trying to get their money, you stay the fuck out of that, man. But Overseer Owens had to say something about Monique. I remember that, Life. I remember that. You're right. Carl says you can't be cheap and impatient. You got to have one, brother. You're right. Like Hulu, I don't watch Hulu enough, so I don't pay for the Hulu premium. I very, 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 rarely watch Hulu. So if I'm watching something on Hulu, I'm like, all right, here we go. Bring on the ads. Here we go. Let's go. Bring them on. I ain't paying for this. That should come with my Verizon. That's just free with Verizon. So yeah. Do you want to go ad free with Hulu? No, because I'm probably only going to watch Hulu 4 times a year, and I'll just be patient enough for the ads. But YouTube, I'll watch this motherfucker every day. And all you content creators out there, if you're a content creator and you monetize, pay for fucking YouTube. Y'all be like, hey man, I'm about to show you all this clip. And then it'd be like, Downy soft and fresh. You're like, nigga, you about to talk about Downy soft and fresh? What? Oh, it's an ad. Okay. You better not ever receive a super chat from somebody and you ain't paying for YouTube as a content creator, knowing you're going to be showing YouTube clips. Especially if you're a reaction channel. How in the hell are you going to be a reaction channel with free YouTube? You're reacting to content and goddamn Valtrex commercials. The fuck? The hell your problem? You a content creator, pay for fucking YouTube. $18 ain't shit. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. We talking about Gary Owen. So now we see, I'm not going to play anymore. Y'all can go back and watch the rest of this. Larry, I knock your whole ass out, nigga. You better stop talking all that shit in the chat. Larry going to be out here in a couple weeks because we're going to have a show at the Hidden History Museum. Larry going to be on that show. And y'all going to be able to see that meeting between my fist and Larry's nose. I'm a Crawford that whole ass Canelo ass nigga. Y'all see Larry right here? You want to see a showdown with a clown? Come down to the Hidden History Museum and watch DWANNB Brown. You dig? Call in 388-3315. I want to know y'all opinion on this Gary Owen situation. Larry, if you call in, I'll slap you through the phone, nigga. Yeah. But call in. I want to know y'all opinion on this whole situation with Gary Owen. 323-388-3315. 323-388-3315. Hey, and also, if you don't see a fucking live up here, don't be calling the goddamn phone. That's somebody calling the phone like at 11 o'clock last night. Yeah. And I heard the message. Yeah, the topic. Nigga, we talked about this shit yesterday. What the fuck is you calling this phone line for? Because I have it through my browser, and I forgot to close my browser. The other day, I forgot to close my browser. So I go off and do what I gotta do. I'm sitting back. It's like 11:30 at night. Blunt in one hand, glass of wine in the other. I'm chilling out, and my shit ringing. And I'm like, what the fuck is that ringing? Cause I'm not used to this fucking ringer in this thing. It's a browser. It's Google Voice through a browser. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Then they hang up. Then I get another call. I'm like, I'm checking my phone. My phone is good. Look at my wife's phone. Her shit ain't ringing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Nigga, I look up. No, the live was off. The live was not on. See, if the live that kept going, I'll be like, okay, that makes sense. No, the live was off. Motherfucker, I'm calling in. Yeah, I want. Oh, yeah. About the topic, like, cause you can see like the. So I come out, finally see it's on my computer, but you know how like they'll type out the voicemail, and so I'm seeing the voicemail kind of get typed out, and then some nigga talking about some. Yeah, I wanna talk about the subject. Like, nigga, this shit ain't live. The fuck is your problem?
To accept.
I gotta remember to close out my browser when I'm done. What's up, Carter? What's his name? Where you calling from?
Yes, sir, Mr. Brown.
What's on your mind, my brother?
My take on Gary Owen is just like when he say some of the racial stuff, it's like besides the racial stuff, it's what he meant. You got to look at the intent of what he's saying. And I didn't think he's a good guy. He just don't like to deal with racial stuff, and he likes to want to get people together, even though he might be a tortured soul himself. But you know,
I'm gonna roll with what you said. Okay, he don't like dealing with racial stuff. Then why he got to deal with Charlie Kirk? Why couldn't he just not deal with this the same way he didn't deal with Trump putting the National Guard on his black constituents in D.C.?
right. See, that's why he don't get into politics in the first place, because it caused racial strife and
No, I
agendas,
get that.
that's kind of-
I get that. So why do you take your nosedive into racial politics to defend a racist? Why is that your first foray into this arena?
I just mostly was defending his right to freedom of speech. You know, comedians always talking about freedom of speech, regardless of situation.
Well, no, well,
You know?
okay, let's go with that. He just literally said that people online using their freedom of speech to call out Charlie Kirk's racism are wrong. So how much of a proponent of freedom of speech is he pushing for if he's only addressing the people talking against Charlie Kirk?
But he also
He didn't remember. He never said Charlie Kirk was wrong. He never said that. But he did say that people speaking up against Charlie Kirk is wrong. So how much of a proponent of free speech is he?
when he said that, he said that he don't agree with Charlie.
Don't, but you're right. Don't agree and wrong are two different things. He said the people who spoke out against Charlie Kirk are wrong. He just said he doesn't agree with some of the racial things that Charlie Kirk said. So that's what I'm saying. What I'm doing is, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get you to ask yourself a critical question. Okay, he's apolitical. He doesn't like dealing with politics. Fine. I'm totally cool with people who don't like dealing with politics. Politics is very fucked up. And if you ain't got thick skin, politics is not the place to be. So I'm with all that.
Right.
I agree. I don't think people should be forced to give a political opinion on anything. I don't think that should happen. But with all these things being said, this whole year has been very political since Trump has been in office. It's been very, 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 very political. Everything has been politics. Why is your first time swimming in this to defend a racist? Why now?
Well, just like any other person, he's still a citizen of the United States. And he has the right to say, just like the Rush Limbaughs of the world and the Sean Hannitys and the Bill O'Reillys.
So okay,
I know it's propaganda. So what you like that, I know.
So what you're saying is,
I know.
What you're saying is, okay, let's use our voices and our political cachet to defend white people's ability to say whatever they want to say about anybody. That's when you use that. You're not going to use it when you're not going to use this equity that you built up to defend Kyrie Irving when he went through what he went through. You're not going to use it to speak up and say, no, Charlie Kirk, you're wrong about George Floyd. dying of a fentanyl overdose. You're not going to use it. You're going to wait. You're going to wait.
But
You're going to look past
I always
all
want to
that
use it. That's,
and defend Rush Limbaugh and Charlie Kirk.
but I also when we growing up, like me and you grew up on gangster rap. That's one of the issues of what gangster rap. They wanted the freedom to have NWA and Ice-T to speak their mind through music. You know, it's just the flip side of the coin.
No, how? Okay. Question.
Don't pick and choose.
Question. Gangster rap. First off, it wasn't gangster rap. It was message music that was attacked initially.
I mean,
gangster rap came later. So you're equating black people like Ice Cube creating songs like "Dope Man" to talk about the dope coming into our community. NWA created songs. Ice Cube and like you had Public Enemy "Fight the Power." You had
right.
So you're equating them saying "Fight the Power" that created these conditions that have us screwed up with someone who is saying that, oh no, those aren't conditions that have you screwed up. You're screwed up because you're black. Because Charlie Kirk said that.
Right.
Charlie Kirk said, I don't want to hear anything about conditions. He said it's because you're black. So you're saying that speaking up for oneself is the same of using your political cachet to take away from somebody. That's the same thing.
It's not the same. It's the views.
Well, that's what you just said.
But he has
you just said two sides of the same coin. One is asking for greater access. The other is saying, no, remove access because of the color of their skin. Not because of their ideas. Because of the color of their skin.
As fucked up as it is, though, he still got the right to say that bullshit.
He does.
It's a good and bad.
But here's the thing. He does have the right to say those things. Yeah, he does. So why would, going back to Gary Owen, why would he use his political cachet to go at the people who have the right to respond? We have the right to respond.
But he has the grace because he actually.
Why did
I know?
No, but hold on.
I know.
I'm not going to let you go any. You got to answer one of my questions because what you're doing is you keep jumping. You got to answer this question. I'm not going to let you jump anymore. Why did Gary Owen decide that he's going to protect the right of Charlie Kirk to say whatever he wants to say, but at the same time chastise those who have the right to defend themselves from what he says? Why is that okay?
The subject was Kirk. That's what so he addressed Kirk. I know he defended.
No, why? No. I'm gonna let you say what you have to say. I'm gonna let you say what they have to say.
Right.
Why is it okay that the people who are defending themselves be muted and they get chastised for defending themselves, while the aggressor gets a pass for throwing the shot? Why is he saying it's okay for the aggressor to throw the shot, but not okay for the people to defend themselves?
He defending those two, though.
Huh?
You know what I'm saying?
What you say?
He defended both.
No,
he defended both.
No, he didn't. He said no. He said people shouldn't go out and say people. He said people are putting videos up of all these different things that he said. They shouldn't do that. Why not? He said it. They're just putting up what he said. Why are you going at people for repeating what Charlie Kirk said, but saying that, hey, we should all be okay and give Charlie Kirk the right to say what he has to say? Which one is it?
They can have the same thing, like, but to like celebrating deaths. People always say some people have their own views about gloating about people's death, making fun of people's death, and all.
Is that not their right?
But, well, that's the point. But I'm saying that's what he don't agree with. It looks like
okay, so he doesn't agree. He did not agree with people gloating over his death, but he didn't disagree with Charlie Kirk gloating over Black death in America. He didn't disagree with that.
No,
Because
I
Charlie
really
Kirk
doubt that
gloated.
he even.
Charlie Kirk, his last words were gangs. He gloated over Black Death every day he opened up his microphone. So that's
Hey,
okay.
I agree. I agree. That's what I'm
So
saying.
I gotta answer more calls, but I want to leave you because I know you. I want you to say what you got to say. But so I want you to answer this. What's your takeaway on Gary Owen?
Gary Owens personally, like I said before, you know, I think he's generally a good guy. He was just trying to explain the best way he can. You know, I'm not going into semantics or stuff because I know his intent that what he was talking about was that he didn't want to have different, like a bunch of division in America, but he just defended the right for him to use free speech, even though, you know, it's a bunch of propaganda. You know, that's all.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for giving us a call.
All right, bye.
From. To accept, press 1.
What's up, Carl? What's the name? Where you calling from?
This is Larry Goodwill. I'm calling in from Missouri City, Texas.
And speaking of real life jive ass nigga, what you think about that last call?
Boy, that nigga was hungover from last night, or he woke up this morning and was like, you know what, I'm gonna get fucked up and call in to the DWANNB show and not make a lick of goddamn sense whatsoever. Man, I don't know who that nigga was, dog, but that nigga pissed me off today, boy. Man, get your drunk dumb ass off the phone and listen. Don't call in. Just fucking listen and learn something. They want to call up. Man, I hate niggas like that. Shut your bam ass up, nigga. Man, fuck out of here. And your bitch ass just kept talking and talking. I was like, DeJuan, hang this nigga up, man. Just hang up, dog. Dog. Oh, yeah. Man, get this drunk nigga off the phone. This nigga here, boy. God damn.
Call from.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 minute, Carl. I'm gonna get you when I'm done with Larry. Hold on. Larry, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. That was some whole asshole music. That shit sounded stupid.
Hey, dog. What sounded more stupid, that whole music or that last conversation?
Man, that last conversation by far. I would listen to an album of that whole music before I listen to that dumb jigaboo ass nigga talk. God damn, man, my IQ was just dropping point by point by point. Like, oh man, let me call in, dog. Cause this, I mean, I ain't no goddamn genius, but I'm damn sure smarter than that last nigga, boy. Good lord. This nigga talking, I can hear tap dancing in the background. I'm like, this nigga soft showing on this phone, boy. Well,
I want Larry, I want to notice something. Like, I want to notice something. You notice that people are always okay, and this is black folks too. And that brother, I let him keep going. And look, brother, you keep keep calling in, whatever. I ain't tripping.
No, don't call in. Don't ever call in. Don't listen to the one. Don't ever fucking call. Nigga, lose this number and don't ever call. Just watch. Because I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, bitch.
But like, I'm with you right there. But like, you notice, and this is but he was a microcosm of probably how 80% of black people think. Today's world, we're probably getting closer to 60% of black people. 10 years ago, he's 90% of black people, how they think. Probably closer to how 65, 70% think now. And how he was totally okay with Charlie Kirk saying whatever it is. Just like Gary Owen. Gary Owen is totally okay with Charlie Kirk saying whatever. That's his opinion. But those who respond, they're the problem. You see this shit?
Yep. And that just goes to show you how Gary Owen does not have a finger on the pulse of Black America, because it's a new day and time. It's a whole new train of thought amongst us, and we're not going for that bullshit. So you can't just jump on a podcast or go live and resuscitate them stupid ass talking points that all them racist people use. Like, you can't do that, especially when your target audience is black.
Right.
Like, you didn't have an issue allowing your wife to address another comedian as nigger, because he damn sure wasn't gonna say it. Like, he didn't have a problem with that. Like, but Charlie Kirk, man, look. Yes, it's freedom of speech. Yes, it's free speech. It's not freedom from consequences. So exercise your right, free speech. Hey, say what you got to say. But when it comes back to bite you in the ass or the neck, then I mean, you fucking caused it. Like, yeah, you caused it. You were paid. You used the First Amendment. Somebody else used the Second Amendment. Nigga, it's all American.
You're right. There's certain things. Freedom of speech is true, but freedom of speech does not take you away from freedom of consequences. Like, for instance,
nope.
You can talk all you want, but when I bust you in your motherfucking nose and that shit leak, Larry Goodwill, that's gonna be the consequence for all that shit you've been talking. When I grab your motherfucking beard and put that shit down in a paper shredder and turn that motherfucker on, and your chin is going down, nigga, that's gonna be because of what you said, nigga. And you bet not break my paper shredder with your bitch ass beard, nigga.
I mean, I hear you. I hear you. And there's also a freedom to dream. You have a freedom to dream, and what you just described was a fucking dream. But in reality, we all know what's gonna happen, Captain. On the fourth, dog, I will knock you out in the fourth round, bitch. I might go. It might be the first round.
There's no way in hell you gonna knock out DeJuan Brown in the fourth round, you motherfucking clown. You better sit your ass down.
Oh, okay, man.
Jack?
I swear, I didn't. No, you can't interview with Jack. You just ride with no. You fucked up the line.
Yeah, Jack.
Okay. I mean, anything could be better than that last nigga, dog. Dog, that last nigga sound like he just got his freedom papers. He don't even know how to read, so he don't know he's free. Like, man, fuck out of here, dog.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, man, you need to.
Because sometimes, and no disrespect to your side of this, to Houston, because Houston is cool outside of you, but when you hear about, Juneteenth and niggas getting their freedom papers years later, you be thinking, what kind of niggas is gonna wait that long? And then you get a call like that, and you be like, now I see why Juneteenth exists.
Does this brother know that we pretty much free? Like, golly, dog. Anyway, man, I just called in because we needed some relief after that last caller, dog, and hopefully the person after me had something constructive to say. But if y'all watch this, man, y'all continue to support this piece of shit and come on out to the Hidden History Museum on October the 4th and come see me kick DWANNB's ass in front of everybody.
You ain't doing nothing, homie. Fuck you. Get off my phone.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, bitch.
That was Larry Goodwill. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Big Dwan. It's Herc, man.
What's up, Herc? What's on your mind, my brother?
All right, bro. Hey, yeah, okay. My my issue with Mr. Gary Owens is that he's always been kind of a low-key, mild racist in his own right.
True.
But he hides it well.
True.
And the thing is that the black comedian community has welcomed him with open arms, you know. And it's been an issue too, where, you know, black people have pretty much accepted him and given him a hall pass to our community.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't have the right in any way to try to see. Sometimes white folks get so comfortable amongst us, they feel they got the right to reprimand us at will. You see?
Right.
And it's our fault to allow them to come into our community and get so damn comfortable and feel like they can just walk around and have so much access to us and slap our women on the ass. You see, you know. And sometimes these white boys, since they think that they're so close to blackness, you know, by getting a black woman, they think they can just come in and check the niggas at will.
Hold on one second, Gary. Hold on one second.
Call from
Obi.
Hold on one second, Carter. When I'm done my next call, I'll get to you. Go back to what you said, my brother. I had to hold you. Go back to what you were saying. Hurt? Yeah,
they get too comfortable in our community. We allow them to get too comfortable, and so they need to be reprimanded. And only in that's kind of like in you guys' court. That's in you and Larry's court, because he's a comedian. That's y'all jurisdiction. So y'all need to check it. You know.
Yeah, people like him.
I mean, that's my opinion.
And this was gonna happen. Me and Larry, we don't do the kind of venues that Gary Owen does, and Gary Owen does not come down to do the venues that we do. Right. Other than if I see him at the Laugh Factory on a Sunday night, which is very rare. But this is what's gonna happen. The majority of black comics are going to ignore that. They're not going to address it with him, and they're gonna act like everything is cool when he show up. Comedians, kind of what is one thing that sort of put me on the outskirts of things, and I don't mind because I never wanted to be a full-time comic anyway. Most comedians are coons, okay? Go back and watch Comic View. Every time they do a joke between black people and white people, the black people lose, right? White folks got good credit. Black people ain't never on time. You know? Am I lying? Is that not how most black comics address black?
You telling the truth. You're telling the truth.
It's always, you can't never be late to a black funeral. Now you go to a white funeral, they gonna have Jesus coming down from the heavens. So most black comics are coons, all right? There's very few who really are who like 10 toes down. So the fact is, he's gonna be fine, unfortunately. The only way he's gonna be checked is if his fan base checks him by no longer coming to his shows. And his fan base is 70% black women. He's going to have, the fan base is going to have to pull back. And because there are certain comics like Mark Prince, Thomas Ward, you know, even Corey's called him out. See, Corey, you can't do that shit around Corey Holcomb. You know what I mean? And you have those, but your Corey Holcombs, these are the exceptions. Most of these niggas don't have a problem with what he's saying. That's just unfortunately where we are.
That is, that's true. That's true. Unfortunately, a lot of black people don't have a problem with what Charlie Kirk said. You know.
Bing, right on point, man. But I gotta get to the other call, man. Thanks for that, dog.
Okay, brother. Peace.
What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Jacoby from Portland, Oregon.
Jacoby from Portland, Oregon. What's on your mind, brother?
I was on a call for a little bit, but I wanted to pick up where Gary was fumbling his mouth and ended his career. You know, so, you know, that's the thing when you marry interracially. You know, that man was having a confliction with himself, with his whiteness, and his children, because you can see, you know, it's obvious that Mr. Kirk said very racist things and code words that put us all at jeopardy. That's the most dangerous rhetoric you can ever do against another race, man. Use propaganda and falsehoods to perpetuate white supremacy, to subjugate one group. And Gary didn't want to jump all the way in. So Gary tiptoed in his whiteness, and he couldn't do it because that's usually kind of like I saw. I mean, this man's conflicted. I put it in the chat room. He's conflicted. You know, like, man, I got biracial children. And you know, like, and I'm going to say this: if you guys, you know, if you want to date interracially, fine. I'm not the police. But you better have an understanding when you do that, what comes with that. It's more than just having sex and exotic sex and whatever. You better understand the nuance that comes with being black. I don't have to speak on Mr. Kirk. I don't. Nobody has to speak on him. If you don't know what you're talking about, then don't put your career at risk. Don't be the blunt joke of you being a fool.
Right.
And that's what Gary Owen did. And Gary Owen sat there and I mean, if you don't know what you're talking about or you don't know what's going on, my mom used to tell me, shut the fuck up when grown folks are in the room. I shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right.
Go in your room, go play with some toys. And Gary has been in the black side for a very, very long time. And Gary's going to have to make a choice. Either you in it all the way or you out.
And we coming up on that time.
Ain't going to be.
Like, society's coming up on that time. Get in where you fit in.
Yeah.
Shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, you know, get in where you fit. You know, so it's like, look, I said my piece. I didn't get disrespectful when that man got deleted, but I wasn't feeling any empathy because I felt numb. I just honestly feel numb.
Hold on one second. Let me take this call. Hold on. I'm gonna let you finish your thought. Hold on 1 second.
Call from.
All right.
Hold on, Carter. Let me finish this call and I'll get right to you. All right, go ahead. I don't have a switchboard, but I do have a hold button. But go ahead and finish your thought, my brother. I don't want to cut you off anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to land this plane with you. I just feel numb, man. You see, all the shit that's happened to our brothers and sisters, and they did memes. They did replay our death and everything, and I'm supposed to feel some type of empathy. No, I just feel numb. Like, y'all gonna have to know what that feels like. Now, one of your homies got that at the end, and you guys don't like that. That's how we've been feeling for the last 50 plus years. Now, leave us alone. That's what you guys want. Leave us alone.
Just leave us alone.
Stop bringing us in. Yeah. Every time something happens, y'all got to throw us in it. Well, it's the black. What do we have to do with it? Leave us the fuck alone, man. I feel like I need to get myself a bald-headed George Jefferson Jerry curl. That's what you guys got to do. Leave me the F alone. I'm tired of y'all messing with me. I'm tired of social media always trying to bring us in the mix. And that's why delineation is so important, man. And I'll just land my plane.
All right, man. Thanks for giving us a call, man. Have a good one.
Yeah.
This is going to be my last call of the day. Then I'm going to get to talking. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up? Much love, y'all. Peace and love, family. This is Destiny from Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so the first thing that's on my mind about Gary Owen is I actually watched a little bit about him and watched a few things of how he used to talk about his first wife and now his new wife. They're both black women. And I really thought that he had a genuine bone in his body for black people from proximity of his family.
Mm-hmm.
But as like the last caller said, he said that he had to choose. I don't think that he can choose. Like, I think that we're going to have to choose for him. Like, we're going to have to force him because
we want to choose for him. Okay.
Yeah, because you have to have the conviction in your heart. All of this, all politics, all of what you do has to go on with what you will and won't allow in your heart. If he has black children and he's been with black women and all his whole career is based off of black proximity, and he's gotten to this big grown age and he can't see past him being a white man in white America and participating in supremacy, because just like you can use your freedom of speech like Charlie did, people aren't using their freedom of speech to say, no, that's not true. Like Gary Owen, you have a black wife, a black ex-wife, and black children. So you should be the main person that there should not even be any agreeing with freedom of speech, because we all know that that's in the Constitution. If you live in America, you know that. Now, it's what happens when people decide to use, like you said, there's freedom of speech, but that doesn't, what you dish out into the world is going to come back to you. Everybody's culture has that karma, the world, just different ways of saying that. But with every action, there's a reaction. So I don't think that he should be able to choose, because we know that he's already chosen. He's already chosen what he wants to do. And
I'm with that.
What his conviction in his heart is.
I'm with that point. You say you had another point to make. What was the other point?
I just wanted to shed light. I just came across my timeline that there was a lynching at the Delta State University, a young black man, but I don't know if he's SDA or Foundational Black American, but they haven't released much information. But there was a lynching at, like I said, Delta State University, and in South Carolina, like there's viral pictures going around of like a whole groups of white men in white ski masks, like the Klan, but like they're in white ski masks. So I just wanted to say that too, in case that hasn't came across anybody's eye. But it seems like there's some.
Thank you for that. I'm
I think you mentioned white fatigue. I think that was you that mentioned it on Black Alpha stream yesterday. I wasn't sure, but yeah. That's all I pretty much want to say.
But what you were saying though, and I looked that up. But what you were saying, right? I heard both of y'all make good points, but I'm with you on as far as us making a decision for him, because at the end of the day, he knows better. 30 years in our community, he knows better. He ain't innocent.
Yep, and I think it's time for people, like wherever people's beds they made, time for them to line it, because racism never went away like they said it did. People just got a little bit more sneakier and a little bit more faker, and they learned how to act more nice. That's another reason why I don't believe in acting nice, because either you're genuine or you're not.
Real talk. Thanks for giving us a call.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to close the phone lines down. I'm going to say this is my last piece, and we're going to get up out of here. See, the thing is, people know, these people don't, Gary Owen is not, like she said, he's not innocent. He made a choice. He made a choice on which side to stand. And my point of view is, with respect to the first caller, I don't know if that caller's still here, but with respect to him, we as a people got to see how people move and allow how they move to show us where they stand. My whole point for asking that first caller those questions was, okay, if you believe in freedom of speech, why are you now putting your 10 toes down to defend a white person that defamed black people with lies? But you're going to now put your foot down against the people who speak up against it. Charlie Kirk was a liar, and he used false stats to perpetuate his lies. He lied like a great used car salesman. But a lie is a lie, no matter how you dress it up, no matter how you articulate it, no matter how well your suit fits. A lie is a lie. Especially when it came to how he talked about black people. That was a lie. And for you, all these years to listen to this man and not use your whiteness to correct the lie, but you use your whiteness to defend his right to tell lies, that just shows me who you are. I can't change who you are, nor do I want to. But I can peep game. Personally, I think I've only run across Gary Owens like twice, 2 or 3 times over the years. But I can almost guarantee you if and when I ever do again, black comments are going to be yucking it up with him. Because niggas probably, not only do they see him as an ally, they don't see anything wrong that he said. In the meantime, what I'm going to need y'all to do is subscribe to my Patreon. I have a new tier opening up this week. I'm going to open up at the end of the week. I'm going to give you guys time. I have a new tier that I'm opening up. It's going to be either 30 or 35 a month, where I'm no longer going to charge you guys for classes on a separate school. I have a new tier that I'm doing my classes. My classes are different than my YouTube shows. My classes, I put together notes and slides, and I go a lot deeper when it comes to music history. That'll all be up on YouTube. We're going to put that up on Patreon. We're going to put that up on Patreon to talk about where we are with it. Let me show you guys a slide. Do I have any slides up? I don't have any slides up. I was going to show you guys an example, but I don't have any in here. Well, I have a whole slide presentation that I do along with my presentations. And so those go a lot deeper. But I used to charge like $150 for 6 classes or 5 classes. Now that's just all gonna be on the monthly. And my next class that I'm doing is a 6-part series on the history of jazz. This is gonna be focused solely on jazz and the different genres of jazz and breakdowns of jazz. After that, we're gonna do one on funk, but that's gonna be on the university level. But if you get the $25 live interview lounge level right now, you're gonna be grandfathered into that tier. So if you're on the $25 level, when I open up the new level at the end of the week, you will be grandfathered into that. So if y'all want to sign up for that level now, so that you're grandfathered in to the new rate, I'm going to close that $25 a month level. I'm going to close that off. But if you want it now, if you want to be a part of that, if you're already on that level, you will be grandfathered in to the new level when it opens up, okay? And we're going to do some for real universities that go way deep with music, notes, word guides, things like that, all right? For everyone else on Patreon, y'all still going to get the music review. Matter of fact, I'm going to put up some more music stuff this week. Watch out this week. You're going to get a few uploads this week from different musical lessons. I think I have one on background singers I'm going to put up this week. The beauty of background singers. Look for that on Patreon this week. Card reading. I have the card reading that's up from last week. I read Charlie Kirk's cards last week for those of you who are interested. All right. And get your readings at breakthroughcards.com. Get your readings, all right? So that's where we at. Now my reports are still not streamlined all the way yet because I'm dealing with some tech issues right now, Brooke. Hopefully by the end of this week, my reports are streamlined. There's some tech back end issues. I gotta get that cleaned out. But black folks, just peep game. You see how Gary Owen moved? Peep game. This guy's not your friend. Black folks be thinking ever just because a white person knows a couple rap songs and he's down with the homies, he good. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Pay attention. All right? Thank y'all again for listening. And remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. Pay attention to who's around us, all right? Y'all have a good one.